Magic. So we can just start with questions, or I can start with telling you who I am.
Barbara Goodson, Rita Repulso, yeah.
Yeah, Barbara Goodson, Rita Repulso, and about, I don't know, 300 or 400 other people, but who's counting? Yeah, that's the funny thing when I go to the conventions. Oh, if you touched it. Oh, okay. Everybody's got their favorite, you know, and people say, oh, I wish I knew you did that one because I would have, you know, brought my video from, you know, my cassette or whatever from back then for you to sign, but mostly it's Rita and Mother Dalton and Granny Gio and Nauta and Laharl and Red Fraggle. So I try to, you know, bring as many for everybody that, you know, everybody's got their favorites. And now I just got another one for, because of Dragon Ball. So now, because I was the original Goku, but nobody knows that.
I do.
No, we know.
Now you know.
I do. I know.
You knew that?
You knew.
Zero. He was called Zero at the time. And I'm wondering if that's where the Z from Dragon Ball comes from, the Zero. I have no idea. So that's me talking for a little while, and now questions. Anyone have a question to start me moving? Yes, sir.
What's the most memorable thing about your car?
Oh boy, there's so many memories with Power Rangers. Well, I guess I'll start with saying how it happened. I worked for Saban I had been working, oh gosh, earlier with Robotech and a lot of other studios. I started with doing Spanish soap operas into English for people in California or San Diego area, basically, that wanted to learn English, so their favorite soap operas were put into English so that they could see what they watched in Spanish in English, and that's what we were told that. So that was my beginnings in LA. And we became more of a family. We all sort of met each other, the actors that I actually know now that still work. And we found out about Intersound, where they were doing Robotech, and did a lot of things for Harmony Gold. And then we heard about Saban, another place that was opening up. And I went over there with a bunch of friends, and I told them I do boy voices. My big thing was boy voices in the beginning. And I started to work a lot for them. I did Three Little Pigs. I was the pig with the bricks. Macron. Oh, there were so many things. That was when I did The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. I was actually just gave birth to my son, and I got the voice of Tom Sawyer, and they had to drive me to the studio, and I had to run home and pump my milk. It was too much information. Anyway, but my son was, yeah, he was an infant when I was doing Adventures of Tom Sawyer. I was pregnant when I did Fraggle Rock. So they just gave me the role of Rita because I was already in their stable of actors, and they knew my, you know, what I could do. And they said, do it like the Wicked Witch of the West, like, I'll get you, my pretty. So I did it. Make my monster grow. So they did one of those market research things where they asked people what they thought, and people thought, man, that's not scary. You know, they were used to that kind of voice already, so it was nothing new. So what happened was they fired me. My good old company just fired me. I said, you directed me to do it that way. Let me do it scarier if they're not happy with it. No, we're going to have auditions. And so I was a little angry. So I said, well, can I audition? And they said, yes, you can audition. So when I got in there, I was like pumped. I was like, you want it scarier? I'll give it to you scarier! And that's how Rita was born. And 10,000 years later, she's still alive. that, I'm still doing that voice many years later. So that's my memorable beginnings of Rita. Also seeing it with my family the first time and then saying, this is weird, it's nice that you had a day's work. They were like me and my acting, okay, Barbara, good luck with that one. And boy, did they have to eat their words. Any more questions? Yes, Adam?
Did you and Robert work together all the time, like when it was your guys' episodes?
No, actually, we worked, they would schedule us back to back, but he would be sitting on the couch while I was working, or he would be in there, and So, because you need to, even though it was terrible dubbing for Rita, because she wasn't covered, it was a Japanese woman, Machiko Soga, and she spoke with a lot of, to make it try to be as good as it could be with dubbing. I had to concentrate on seeing it as, without any distractions of other people in the room or any, people make noise, breathing or a cough or something. So they would have you in the room by yourself, concentrating. Although that was the worst dubbing because it was just the same footage. They didn't have that much footage on her, so I would do different mouth flaps, trying to put different words in her mouth to keep the storyline changing. So, and it just didn't fit most of the time, but that became funny too. So when Carla Perez took over, it was better in a way because she was American to American, English to English. So the dubbing was a little better then. Except when she was chewing gum once. And I told her, why are you chewing gum? I have to talk while you're chewing gum. But, yeah.
It still worked well in the first season though, like it looked like it worked all together pretty well and you did great too.
Oh, thanks. Well, yeah.
It was the 90s, so
Yeah, well, you were, what, you were 5, 4, 3 years old? What did you know about dubbing? You thought I was the person. I still get that. People say, you don't look like her. I said, yeah, I wasn't her. I mean, I was her, but I wasn't her. Yeah. Although I have a picture of me because I did try out for her when they ran out of the footage. I sent them, I got to wear the costume. I did a screen test because they didn't know which way they were going, but they got a lot of letters saying, this Z is too sinister, we want Rita back. So I wrote a thing, out of work, Empress seeks employment. So I sent that to the powers that be, and I did screen test, and that costume was so damn heavy. I am actually very happy I didn't have to become Rita, but I do have that one picture of me doing the screen test. But they did go with Carla, who looked like Rita, the original Rita, but a younger version, and they did a whole storyline about how she took a youth potion.
That's what made her look good, right?
So I think that made a lot of sense, and that's how it continued. Next.
Did you ever get to voice any of the monsters during the series?
Oh yeah, I was a lot of different monsters. Well, I was also Prince Sprocket and Orbis, and help me out, somebody, who was I? I did a bunch of monsters. There was a female version and a male version of a monster, and I was the female version. I did the cute little monster. Oh, I need Angie, one of my Facebook friends. She knows who I was. Oh, she's gonna kill me if I don't remember this one. Yes, I did a lot of different monsters, and I did the putties. That was us. We were the putties.
How you spell her name?
Barbara Goodson.
What?
Goodson.
I'm looking it up through Wikipedia.
Oh, see which
Yep, good.
who I was.
Yeah, I'm looking it up through Wikipedia. Let's see here.
Did you get to keep anything on the show?
No, because I was in the studio. Who was I?
Oh no, I was looking at you were Song's mother in Legend of Korra.
Oh yeah,
I mean
Legend
Avatar.
of Korra, yeah.
Do you remember Mystic Force? Was that you talking? Like, was that your voice?
No, Mystic Force was never me. I think it was Machiko Soga.
Here we go. You were Orbus, Samibot,
Oh, which
and
was Solomon? Solomon?
Somnibot. Somnibot.
Somnibots.
And then Turban Shell.
Turban Shell.
Turban Shell, but that was an uncredited
I
voice.
didn't get credit. Okay.
Also Spring Sprocket, Orbus, and then you went in Lost Galaxy and as Ice Angel, Time Force as
Ice
Natakon,
What was that one?
Natakon, Time Force,
Natakon?
Wall Force as Maddicon,
Mandy Luck.
Manny Lock, the upper mouth female
Yeah, the
voice,
female. Mandy Luck was the female voice.
and also in Beetleborgs Metallics as Lady Borg.
Lady Borg. How's that? Yeah. Thank you so much.
Oh look, how people of the movie. There's a
Yeah,
North
that
Star,
movie,
almost gonna F91.
Yeah, I told you I'm 10,000 years old.
You're in Zootopia
Zootopia, yes, I did Zootopia.
as a bully.
I was the bully in Zootopia that traumatized Jason Bateman, but they didn't use my voice. I did it, they recorded me, I was paid, but Disney homogenizes things a lot of the time, and I was too edgy. I did it really nasty, like a real bully, and Disney softened it up and made it
Anime.
a kinder, gentler bully. So I went to see the movie thinking I'm going to watch, see myself voicing the bully, and there I wasn't.
Huh.
And no residuals.
I see you were also in Digimon as TK's mom.
TK's mom and Digimon. Yes,
I didn't know that. Wow.
You didn't know that?
Well,
I mean, I love Digimon. I only watched like the first 3 seasons. I
Yeah, I
stopped.
was TK's mom and something else. I was the little something or other in Digimon.
Ghost in the Shell. Let's see here. Hunter x Hunter.
What else was I in
A
Digimon?
lot of good stuff here. Ooh, look in the third Castle Cagliostro.
it's been a long time since I've seen Digimon, so that's why I don't know.
Teresa.
I don't own the first season on DVD, so I didn't get to know.
Well, do your homework.
And
Or I
I-
should do my homework.
And I'll tell you right now, then I guess I'll open it up in front of everyone, but I actually had a crush on TK's mom.
That happened to me. I did something very long ago, where the guy that was doing a manicure, I told him I did voiceovers for a living, and he said, I have such a crush on this character on Techno Man. Her name is Star, and he's doing my nails. I said, that's my voice. And he fell off his chair. It was embarrassing. I mean, I'm a client, and he's like telling me that he has a crush on this animation character that I'm doing the voice of. It's a strange little world.
Ooh, I also see here Magical Knight Ray Earth. I love that show. Mobile Suit Gundam, 08th MS Team, Outlaw Star, you were only additional voices. One Punch Man.
So many things.
When you did,
Yes, here's the question.
So I know that you're not Otaku. Will you be voicing
Master.
him again for the new season?
For which
Brave
one?
Master.
For Fulikuni?
No. A lot of these companies, they think they need to improve on things or make them unique to themselves.
Oh.
It's like I did Cruella de Vil for Disney. I did the Disney on Ice and the what else did I do for
You were
Disney on Ice and the Press on Games, and then they had the audition for the series, and I thought, oh, I got it, I'm in with Disney, I got the jobs for the other things. They gave it to someone else because another side of Disney was casting, and they felt like if they cast me, they were doing what the other person did. So sometimes it backfires for you. So I didn't get to do Cruella de Vil for the cartoon series, which was disappointing to say the least for me, because I thought it would, work in my favor, and it backfired. Yeah, lovely. Hooray for Hollywood! I also tried to get a cameo for the movie, the Power Ranger movie. I thought it'd be nice to have Rita screaming in the background as a homeless woman or something in the alley. Just, I'm going like this, and have Elizabeth Banks say, that woman's giving me a headache. and zap me. That they said, that's a nice idea. Nah.
How was it being on One Punch Man and being Granny Chio on Naruto?
I don't remember One Punch Man. Who was I? Was I a boy?
I got it. You were only in episodes 8 and 9. You were only in like in 2 episodes.
Who was I?
You were, let me see here, One Punch Man, One Punch Man, One Punch Man. They're all in order here. You were a boy in episode 8, and you were Shimbawa in episode 9.
Shimbawa? Is that somebody?
Shimbawa. Shibabwa.
Is that a boy too?
I have no idea. I don't even watch the
It was
show.
great doing that. I loved it. It was just so memorable.
I'll keep this just in case anybody.
Granny Chio, on the other hand, I loved Granny Chio. The writing was fabulous. The heart-centeredness of the torment that she had, it was a real acting job because, relating to making a big mistake with a relative that screws up the kid for life and ruins everybody else's life, and being the one who made that happen, and being a tormented woman knowing that she's really made a big mistake, not unknowingly trying to be comforting to the little boy. But boy, did that make a mess. And, just the death scene was very, very well written, and then I got to do it again and again and again. But it was, as an actor, you don't get the chance to do that much, chewing meaty roles, especially for cartoons. So that was pleasurable for me as, a challenge as an actress to try and put as many colors in it and make it as authentic. Because you only have your voice to work with.
It was
So,
really good.
thank you.
How did you get the role of Mother Townsend on Star Wars: The Clone Wars?
That's a good question. I have an agent, and they send out auditions, and they said